Please accept my gratitude. I'm going to ask Dr. Manzoor Ahmad for his closing remarks. Dr. Manzoor Ahmad, as I've told, has worked for the government of Pakistan as former ambassador to WTO. Currently, he's the chairman of the board of trustees of Policy Research Institute of Market Economy, PRIME, and a senior fellow with the Pakistan Institute of Development Economics, PIDE. For his closing remarks, I would request Dr. Manzoor Ahmad, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for those kind words. Well, I'm very pleased that such, I think it was Nadeem Sarwar who approached me, and I was very happy that such initiatives are taking place, and we really need these things. And also thank Professor Raj Sandhu for his comprehensive presentation. I think there is no doubt, I mean, the whole world agrees that regional trade is extremely beneficial for countries, for those countries which are involved in this, and for the rest of the world as well. I mean, you look at any regional bloc, for example, EU, and before they made this EU, there were so many wars and there were so many problems, and now they got together, and there's peace and there's prosperity. And even for those countries which were much poorer before becoming the part of EU, like say Portugal, Spain, etc., now have really shot up. And more recently, the East European countries which joined EU now have almost they're catching up with the other countries. And well, we, for example, one of the problems some countries think, okay, we open up trade, but then we'll have this big deficit. Well, it's country to country, one should not measure deficit. As Professor Raj was saying, I mean, between India and China, there's a huge deficit. One is exporting something 100 billion, other is 20 billion. But why India buys from China is because they find that, that's the cheapest source for that. So the same thing should apply for Pakistan. If they open up trade, maybe they'll find that they will not have balanced trade. I mean, they'd be importing more and exporting less, but it will be extremely beneficial for Pakistan to do so. And recently, I think the World Bank, they did this study, and they concluded that if Pakistan was to normalize trade with India, its exports will grow by 80%. It will almost double the current export. It doesn't mean that our exports to India, well, yes, they will grow, but not that they will, that only exporting to India will double our exports, but it's just that, for example, Bangladesh and India, in terms of trade, are far more integrated. And Bangladesh imports about 14, 15 billion and exports only 2 billion to India. But in the process, Bangladesh is able to convert those 15 billion imports into value addition and export to the rest of the world. So it's an extreme interest of Pakistan, because we have been slow in opening up our economy. India has done very well, and just today we heard the sad news of Mr. Manmohan Singh's passing away, and I think a great leader who led India onto that path. And India is now seeing the benefits. I mean, it's a completely transformed. So I think it's very much in our benefit to open trade, and for the whole region to benefit. In fact, recently, if you see, I mean, even although India didn't sign that RCEP treaty, but they negotiated it, but they have individually signed FTAs with each of those, with ASEAN, with Australia, with Japan, for all those member countries, because they think it's in their benefit, and that's why they've done it. I think this was referred to by Professor Raj, but Pakistan has its own unique, what should I say, benefits. Like Pakistan has a strategic geographical location. On this side, on Central Asian side, there are countries very rich in energy resources, and on the other side of Pakistan is India, which has a serious shortage of energy. And if Pakistan and India, if they were having this normal trade, and maybe those pipelines could go through Pakistan, that would benefit Pakistan in terms of earning rents and also meeting its own energy needs, and also benefit India. Just maybe one or two more points. And Professor Raj has already mentioned those, that these border disputes are not unique to just India and Pakistan. He's already mentioned India-China dispute, but then then China, Taiwan. I mean, they don't even agree on Taiwan being a country, but they are huge trade between themselves. And maybe you can see Turkey and Israel, Turkish leader Erdogan is so much, he speaks so emotionally against them. But as for trade, tourism, etc. is concerned, they have that normal flow of trade and tourism. So what I entirely agree with the recommendations made by Professor Raj, and I hope that this new think tank being set up to promote this regional connection will make more progress, and hopefully have, clarify many of the misunderstandings, etc., and try to move the process forward. And I think, I don't know, I was recently engaged with the government in some trade promotion, etc., and I think Pakistan is quite keen to resume trade. And at one time when I've been dealing with this Pakistan-India trade or SEFTA, etc., from '96, that was the first time I went to India, and we were, every time we thought we are just there, we got there, and I think for at least the first, till about 2015-16, India was much more keen than Pakistan was, and somehow now that it's turned around. Now maybe India is not that keen that Pakistan is keen, and perhaps it's in the interest of both. Maybe India has done well, but still there's a lot of poverty in the whole region, including India, and it will, and especially it benefits the farmers, because sometimes you have excess of something. It's both sides. I mean, we import from India, and India also imports the. We've seen in case of sugar, sometimes there's shortage and they import from here, and other crops. We have seen these things, and the third thing I think was about this, that we should not forget that this trade is taking place, but it's through third countries. I think Zishan asked a question, how much trade, and there was an interesting publications from, I think the Trade Triangle or something. They estimated, they put up various estimates that how much trade is taking place through UAE, etc. And there were many examples. For example, they said many Pakistani people like this white, what they call chana, and they used to get it directly from India, and it was something like $660 per ton. And now that they cannot get it directly, so it has to go to Dubai and repackage, etc., and middleman process. And so previously the freight was about $30. Now it's jumped to $200 because of all this problem. From $660 it becomes $860. And I should also mention here that our farmers in Sindh, they are relatively very poor, and they used to export all their dates to India. Dates as well as what they call chuara, that
Dry dates.
Dry dates. Yes. And now again that trade takes place too, and they lose their. They have to bring down their prices to be able to sell to India. So there was a question about the which sectors, and I think it was 2012-13, I was going around the country at the request of Ministry of Commerce to speak to various chambers. And they were saying, for example, Faisalabad Chamber, but our chemical industry will be ruined, etc. And what happened when they opened up? In northern India, they needed these soda ash and such things which were easily importable rather than import from south of India, which was more expensive, and they wanted to import. And then they were so happy, the industry that was producing, I think, ICI and some others, that they could easily send it to India rather than just having to export to far off where the profit was not that much. So there are these hidden things which are not clear. Before you open up, they're not clear that you can benefit this. For example, India is, in case of services, has greatly expanded its services trade, its outsourcing and this. And in the process, it has become more expensive. There's lots of things that if we link with them, the services sector can grow much more. And also I met somebody in Geneva. He was a bank president, and he was visiting from Pakistan. He said he's trying to buy some software from Switzerland. And I said, why don't you try this from India? Because this was a special. And he says, actually, it's Indian software. We are buying it through Switzerland. And it's, the Swiss are making such huge profit. It's 3 times more expensive. But because we cannot do it directly, so we have to go this way. So there's no doubt about the benefits, and I think I commend both sides, who are taking this initiative. It's a small step, but I'm sure such small steps have been between US and China. Also, it was ping pong, and from there, where they one of the biggest bilateral trade partners. So I just conclude here saying that there should be absolutely no doubt that everyone will gain. This will result in more confidence building measures. It will bring more peace. And I just wish that you continue on with this effort. Thank you very much.